Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be having a look at White Dwarf issue 492, have a good look through the whole magazine, and hopefully this will help you decide whether or not you'd like to add it to your collection this month. And here you can see I've got the issue that comes with a subscription, and you get a different cover on there, but you can see it's exactly the same issue, all the contents are going to be the same, just get a different full image cover. I must say I've never heard of the word uncleanness before, so that's a new one to me. The alien is an uncleanness that must be expunged. And here on the back, another nice photo there, a great looking model, awesome shot. And then you can see all the contents. So we've got the bunker taking up quite a big part of the magazines now, this new bunker feature. Then we've got Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and then a few other articles towards the end of the magazine. And what they do now, if you haven't been following it for the last few months, is they pile in like Kill Team into the 40,000 section, Warcry into Sigmar. As we open it up, you can see the subscribe to White Dwarf info is on the left hand side. If you do get it every month, well worth doing. You get it for £5 instead of £6.99, so that's really great. And then you've got the little intro from the editor. And then here we've got a repeat of all the contents that we saw on the back page, but a few images just to set the scene and get us in the mood. Before we start going through all that contents, I'd like to say a huge thanks to today's sponsor, which is me. I'm sponsoring myself with my new terrain sets that are up for sale. And if you've been following along with the TTSG Southwest tournaments I've been doing, you may have seen me building some of these terrain sets. I'm going to be selling a few of them, so if you're interested, there's a limited number available. They're 12 pieces, custom built for Warhammer 40,000 10th edition, and I'm going to be doing them at a discount price of £129.95 and free delivery to the UK. They're a bit big to be sending anywhere else though, unfortunately, but the UK I can send them for free, included in that price of just £129.95. You've got a choice between the desert terrain, the grey terrain with different windows, although with the different windows for the grey terrain I have sold some already, so just be aware you might not get the option you want unless you're getting quick. But there we go, that's today's sponsor. Thank you, me. But let's get back to the contents of the magazine. And here you can see we've got all the images now of people that have sent in their own photographs of models they've painted. Some really good ones again. This one looks great. And if you like the look of that, check out this one, which was the winner at the TTSG Age of Sigmar tournament. And this was the best hero category. What an awesome piece of work this was. And it was painted by Danny, who's a member of the local club as well, the Little Shop DVD and Games in Liscard. He did a fantastic job. Right, let's get back to the magazine. And here we've got Worlds of Warhammer. And this article this month explores the heraldry and iconography of the free cities. Nice, interesting read this. I like these kind of articles. Gives you loads of information. You get some great images too. I mean, it's so well done. I think you can often just flick through this and like not really think about how much effort's gone into producing all the artwork here. It's really nice. Then we've got the bunker. So if you've been seeing this the past few months, the bunker is a massive section now of the White Dwarf magazines. It looks like it's here to stay as well. And this is all about creating the world's biggest and best Warhammer club. So there we go. If you're interested in following along with that, it's good for getting prompts and things from things you could do in your own club maybe. But for me, biggest isn't always best. I think having small groups is really fun, certainly around specific games as well. So I don't know if I subscribe to the biggest and the best club, but certainly this is a great resource to get some information, get some tips, get some prompts, and help you set up something in your own town or village or city. One of the things I really do like about this bunker feature though is that each month they're putting in a new mission for Warhammer 40,000 and a new battle for Age of Sigmar as well. And this is really nice, so it gives you a little bit of more variety to play something a little bit different than you've already got in the books, the General's Handbook, that kind of thing. And you'll see later on they include a pullout as well, which is awesome. And look at this, we got Kill Team this month. Brilliant to see this back and featured in the magazine. We've got a scenario of the month here called Elaborate Deceptions, and you'll see some cards later on in another pullout in the magazine that are related to this. Here you can see you've got the exclusive mission there. You've got the mission rules, the objective, the Spec Ops campaign, the map, everything you need to play this out. And then we're moving through, got a bit of basic training here if you want to have a look at that. 440k, giving you some tips and how to do things like prevent a deep strike, move to shoot, move to charge, how to get out of trouble, that kind of thing. Then there's the hobby hangout, and this is going to be painting an Aegis defense line for the battlefield. And this is a nice article. Here's the pullout as well. You can see that fluctuations of power there, exactly what's written previously, but you can pull this out and take it along, which is great. Here's some alternate colour schemes for those different pieces, and I really like these kind of articles. And this Tyrannid bioacid attack, some great tips there as well. So it's got all the different colour schemes you could go with, or some of them at least. Then there's the satellite uplink, show off your elite warriors, so you're going to get to see more photos from the community, people sending in pictures of some of the models, war bands, armies, units they've painted up. And then finally we get to Warhammer 40,000 section, and so we'll start working our way through, beginning with Echoes from the Warp, a look into the creation of Combat Patrol. Interesting read here, getting a little bit of insight from the creators behind it. So that's pretty cool. Then you've got Faces of the Devour, a little bit of reading to do, an inquisitorial study on the phases of a Tyrannid invasion. So this could be coming across, I guess, like a kind of reports, that kind of thing. So that's nice, just to get you in the mood. Maybe read this before playing, that'd be fun. Then on to Heavy Metal Brush Tips, how to tackle the Terminators. Now these have been fantastic lately, and they've certainly done a great job here. If you're looking at how to paint Terminators, maybe you want to do some different chapters, this has got you covered. It's got all the paint guides, every paint that's used on the models you can see. It's got some little snippets from the people who painted them, giving you some tips. And just as far as a resource goes, this is brilliant. It's really good. You can look at this and have a real good idea how to paint them up. Then we're on to Suffer Not the Unclean. A Black Templar's vessel is overrun by Templars? By Tyrannids. And so a bit more reading there. Then Sweeping Raid, we're going to get a battle report. And there's a great looking army here. This looks awesome. I really like that frozen theme for the Astra Militarum. And they're going to be going up against the Orcs. So that should be pretty fun. And looking at this, yeah, these are using the Combat Patrol. So that makes a lot of sense. If you picked up a Combat Patrol box, this is what you're going to be playing with. So that's cool. You can see it in action. And really nice to see how they lay out the battlefield, how they deploy. You're going to get loads of tips there. Here's the pullout again. These are the deception cards for that new mission for Kill Team. And then you've got some other things there for the bunker. And one of those handy paint recipe cards too. The battle report continues. And then we're going to move on to the next section, which is Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I'm all in on Age of Sigmar at the moment. I think it's such a fun game. I love the new General's Handbook that came out not that long ago. And it's great. I'm really looking forward to really diving into all this content and having a really good read. There's lots to look at here. And if you're a fan of Age of Sigmar, I think you're going to be happy this month with everything that's included. There's some really nice pictures here of all the armies and the models painted up. Really good for inspiration. And then, yeah, look at this, the Unquiet Dead. It just looks fantastic. I love how they do the photos. This is my favourite of the magazine, though, The Rising Moon. What a mushroom that is. Looks awesome. And every time I see a Troggoth, it just makes me smile. I think they're so funny. Loads of character. Now on to Arcana. We're going to have a little read through a treatise detailing some of the most foul and debased fortresses of the mortal realms. So another nice one. Again, this is mimicking the kind of layout of the 40k section now. Then we've got the Spoils of War. Smashing stuff up is good, but smashing bigger stuff is better. Nice bit of reading to do. And then we're on to my favourite part of the whole magazine. Friends in Need. This is Allied Forces wage war in multiplayer games of Age of Sigmar. I think I'm going to do a separate video on this, because it's really cool if you go to a club and there's lots of people and you end up playing multiplayer anyway. This is really formalising it and giving some proper rules, which I think is going to be great when people have got different armies. You've also got a couple of battles there, 2 battle plans to try out, which is really good. So yeah, I'm going to do a separate video for that. Then there's Weird Hollow Bladeborn. We're going to get the Bladeborn fighter rules detailed here now. And look at this, we're going to get the fighter cards and abilities for some of the warbands we've seen in Underworlds. And I'm really happy to see Domitan's Storm Coven included, because I love those models. I use them as proxies in my Stormcast Eternal army for Age of Sigmar. And I'm looking at playing Warcry next Wednesday or Thursday at the club. So this is going to be perfect. I'm going to be using those 100%. Then Underworlds is featured as well. So we're really getting all the games this month, which is great. So if you're into Underworlds, you've got a bit of reading there. Then Born to War, and this time it's Horus Heresy. And again, nice reference. You're going to get some nice pictures looking at the different units for the different legions. So if you want some inspiration, that's all there. Necromunda's included as well. So here you go. You're going to get a little bit of info here, some news from the Underhive. little section to read through. I think it's about a campaign they were playing. And you're also going to get a very nice showcase for the Dune Wraiths by Dan Entwistle. And these look really well done. Haven't played against them. Oh, actually, I played against them once, very quickly, but I haven't done a proper game with them. Then Between the Lines for the Black Library. A little bit of fiction, if you want to have a read through that. Inside the Studio, towards the end, showing you what they've been up to. Then we have a little glimpse at next issue, Age of Sigmar narrative campaign rules. That's going to be fun, so look out for that in October. But otherwise, that's it. That's White Dwarf, issue 492, all the contents included. Hopefully this has given you a good idea about what to expect from the magazine this month, and now you can decide whether or not you'll add it to the collection. Really nice to see Kill Team included, and that Terminator section was really good for painting, but for me, I think Age of Sigmar and Warcry are the winners. A huge thanks to all the sponsors and supporters that have been helping me make these daily videos possible, and a huge thank you to you for clicking on the links. It really does help. It supports them. I like to work with all different types of companies, independents and the bigger game companies as well, and so it's really awesome that you click those links because you support them and me too, and it's really nice that we can all help each other in that way, so thank you so much. I almost forgot, I've started a new podcast on YouTube and Spotify, and it's called the TTSG Podcast. And in the podcast, I'll be interviewing creatives, artists, rule writers, narrative writers, model makers, and everybody involved in the business side and creation of tabletop games. My first guest on episode 1 was Marco Picota, and that's up on the channel already. I'll put a link at the end of this video if you'd like to go and listen to it. And it's really awesome to hear from Marco. He had some great information, and we focused on solo play and AI mechanics. And Marco is owner of the publishing studio Raybot Games, and he's a game designer and developer from way back in the 90s up to now, with lots of games including Escape from Stalingrad Z, the sequel, Escape from Project Riza, and a Viking horror game coming up called Gates of Nilheim, which I cannot wait for. And I'll be bringing you loads of info on all this on the channel coming soon. But check out the podcast if that's interesting to you. And I've got loads of interesting guests lined up with an episode every week. I hope you found the video helpful. I'd love to hear what you think about this month's issue of White Dwarf. What's your favourite section in there, and will you be adding it to the collection? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you did like the video, it'd be really good if you hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep going with these regular videos. I couldn't do this without you, and I appreciate your support so much. If you'd like to join the Patreon community, support the channel, get some great perks at the same time, there's a link down below in the description. It'll be awesome to see you there.